Celebrities are unbelievably rich in the 21st century. They have been for the past half century, at least, at most. I'm not too sure. But the amount of influence that celebrities hold now is equally as tremendous. And in many such cases, with the advent of social media, they start their own followings and, to a greater extent, their own cults. Now, we're going to look at just a few examples in this video, and we might continue in a future video. Now, we'll start here with Jared Leto. Jared Leto, of course, is known for his being the front musician to his band 30 Seconds to Mars, as well as a award-winning Hollywood actor, starred in multiple movies and multiple supporting roles. And so, this article's from 2021. Jared Leto and his band 30 Seconds to Mars started a cult. The band invited fans, who call themselves the Echelon, to a retreat in Croatia where Leto, dressed in white robes, hosted hundreds of his devotees for a 3-day music festival, complete with yoga and movie screenings. The band tweeted photos of Leto leading hundreds of people also dressed in white, captioned, quote, "Yes, this is a cult. Hashtag Mars Island." This wasn't the first time 30 Seconds to Mars embraced the phrase it's appeared on the band's merch and in their music videos, playing on journalists telling them that they have a cult following. Leto and the band decided to give it a more literal definition. But beyond the adoring fans who will pay money to be isolated on an island with Jared Leto and indoctrinated into his cult, the actor and musician has forged relations with a number of close collaborators. Through his unconventional methods and distinct style, Leto has made clear that his music, films, and fashion are more than a part of his celebrity. Their artistic statements, his real cult aside, L'Officiel takes a look at the people who have helped fashion the cult of Jared Leto. Shannon Leto, his brother. Jared and his older brother Shannon started 30 Seconds to Mars together in 1998. Though the alternative rock band has undergone various lineup changes in over 2 decades of existence, the two brothers have remained frontmen. Together, they've released 5 studio albums and even embarked on a 2-year-long tour that broke the Guinness World Record for most shows played during an album cycle. Darren Aronofsky, famous director and filmmaker. Both the poster and the tight shorts in Requiem for a Dream, the film directed by Darren Aronofsky, made sure that Leto's ice blue eyes would become a part of modern pop culture canon. To prepare to play the leading character Harry, a young man struggling with addiction, Leto lost 25 pounds. Quote, "It was miserable," he said. "It was a painful, dark place, but it was rewarding. I had hallucinations. I'd look up at the sky. I'd get a feeling of complete serenity." This intense attitude led to a harrowing performance as Leto, who's known for his method of acting, channeled his character's pain and isolation. This psychological thriller spoke to many and cemented Aronofsky as a master of suspense. To celebrate the film's 20th anniversary, Leto is helping sell a t-shirt to fund aid to musicians suffering from addiction. You can also create custom coins with the 20th anniversary and the movie's name. Another film, Fear of God. The Fear of God Collection 6 streetwear label released a fashion film starring the Academy Award winner, directed by Lane Stewart and written by designer Jerry Lorenzo. The film features Leto and model Maggie Moorer in a variety of looks, and to the excitement of the label's fans, offered the first glimpse of a Nike sneaker collaboration. Leto is not the only celebrity Fear of God devotee, as the label counts Kanye West as a fellow collaborator. Leto and Emma Ludbrook co-produced and directed Artifact in 2012, a documentary about 30 Seconds to Mars' legal battle with EMI, which premiered at the Toronto Film Festival. They also co-produced Into the Wild, a TV series about the band's record-breaking 3-time consecutive world tour. Ludbrook works for Leto's production company, Paradox, and Leto even officiated Ludbrook's wedding. So, Kanye West. In 2009, the two musicians collaborated on the song Hurricane, which was released on the album This Is War, 30 Seconds to Mars, which is their third album. For Leto, working with West was incredible. Quote, "I think he's a really kind person and really creative and a fellow work fiend like myself," he told the Rolling Stone. This is Leto's usual choice of wardrobe at premieres and parties. So, Alejandro Michele, perhaps Leto's most famous collaborations are with Gucci creative director Alessandro Michele. He famously wore Gucci while carrying a replica of his own head at the 2019 Met Gala, and has been the face of Gucci Guilty fragrances. Michele also designed brightly colored looks for Leto's Monolith tour. Now, with director David Fincher. David Fincher directed Leto in 1999's Fight Club and the 2002 thriller Panic Room. Both films, Leto transformed his entire look, dyeing his hair and eyebrows blonde for the former and letting cornrows for the latter. The respective roles also required a bit of pain on the part of Leto's characters, but the actor was up for the challenge. Quote, "He's a great person to work with, so knowledgeable about what he's doing every second of the day that it's a pleasure to be in this world," Leto said of working with Fincher. Now, Leto, apparently he didn't even know that the Joker in Batman had been around since the 1940s. He was only really aware of Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker, and maybe to a lesser extent Jack Nicholson's portrayal. Those other two collaborations we won't really bother with. Now, Darkseid resurfaced amid major allegations. The Oscar-winning actor and 30 Seconds to Mars frontman is back in the public eye, facing allegations of inappropriate behavior, sexual misconduct and coercion. Report details 9 testimonies, including claims of unsolicited sexual images, unwanted physical advances, and troubling dynamics at private parties organized by Leto. Many of the women involved were very young, some being minors at the time. One of the most notable accounts comes from DJ Ali Teals, who shared her story of attempted assault in 2012 at the age of 17, which resurfaced after a new report. Other accounts describe similar experiences, with one woman detailing how Leto insisted on taking her to his home after a public event, and she was just 16. Leto's representatives have denied allegations, labeling them as, quote, "false and malicious." They stress that the actor has led a career free of substance abuse for over 30 years and suggested that some of the accusers approached him with professional intentions. However, Leto has not made a public statement in response to recent allegations, though in his past he has dismissed similar claims with sarcasm. While these latest accusations have reignited media attention, they are not the first. In 2005, the New York Post reported that Jared Leto's alleged habit of hovering around not hoovering, hopefully not hoovering, but hovering around teenage models. From 2015, a fan gathered accounts from other band followers who claimed to have faced similar encounters between 2022 and 23. Rumors around Leto's involvement in spiritual retreats with fans stirred discussions about possible cult-like following, though these claims were never confirmed. Interesting. Based on this photo, I'd say that there is a bit of a embrace of a cult-like image, at the very least. This case highlights ongoing issues in the entertainment industry regarding accountability, despite no formal criminal investigation being launched against Leto. The public scrutiny triggered by Airmail report raises crucial questions about the impunity of powerful figures, particularly when the victims are young women with less influence in the industry. Not just that, but they're minors, therefore they have no legal ability to consent to many things, especially sexual advances, which in general is by the law worthy of indictment and prosecution. Despite the severity of the allegations, Jared Leto remains active in Hollywood. His upcoming film, Tron Ares, is slated for release in October of 2025, that's this year. The public pressure could intensify if the testimonies lead to legal action or if more voices add to the chorus of accusations. For now, the case remains in a media gray area, with no official charges but enough testimonies to challenge Leto's public image. The Airmail report reopens critical conversations about power dynamics, silence, and complicity within the celebrity culture. Now, here's more celebrities that were in or linked to a cult, including Yoko Ono's daughter. One word that'll instantly get a reaction out of anyone, no matter the context, is the word cult. It's a loaded word with intense meaning and history behind it. Per The New Yorker, a cult is simply defined as a small group run by a self-appointed leader who controls its members in rather disturbing or devious ways, or at the very least, sectarian ways. These ways can range from taking drugs to drastic forms of showing devotion to the cult. For centuries, people have created and been a part of cults, including some of your favorite celebrities. There are a lot more cults than people want to acknowledge, with people thinking that there are only a few out there, like the Manson family or NXIVM. But the truth is, there are many that are still heavily active to this day. One Kardashian family member seems to be a part of a Hollywood cult, and Kardashian and cult, under the guise of celebrity, kind of go hand in hand. So whether they were born into these cults or were linked to past members, we have it all here, according to this columnist and the author of this article. A version of this article was originally published in 2020-23. Okay. Krista B. Allen. 13 going on 30, Allen, which was a film. Krista B. Allen, pardon me, Krista, revealed in August 2025 that she was in a relationship with a cult leader and has gotten away from them. Allen wrote on TikTok to Chaperones the Subway how it feels rebuilding your life after being in love with a charismatic, wealthy cult leader who burned it to the ground. Quote, "So I've sat with the hardest questions. Why did I trust him? Why did I hand over my power? Why did I silence my own inner knowing?" she added. "The truth is, he was selling fairy tales and from luxurious penthouses and private jets. I foolishly bought in," she added. "What I learned is that even if you spend every waking moment with someone studying, eating, traveling, working, building, dreaming, you still may not know them, especially when you're dealing with someone who lies as easily as they breathe." And what realization shattered me, but also that realization shattered me, as she says. "But it also forced me to build up from the ground, and fire is also cleansing." Kyoko Chan Cox, daughter of Yoko Ono, revealed in May 2025 that her father, Anthony Cox, Yoko Ono's second husband, kidnapped her during their custody battle. He then raised her in Iowa. Then Cox and his new wife, Melinda Kendall, took Kyoko to Spain to enroll her in a meditation preschool in Mallorca. They moved around after for some more time after the judge ruled in favor of Cox having custody, until they landed in the arms of the Living World Fellowship, a cult that was dismembered in 2018 due to sexual misconduct allegations. Today, as an adult, she says, "The biggest irony to me is we left a cult, in a way, when we left the Beatles and John and Yoko. People are fanatical about them, and on the level of being cult members," explained Kyoko. "I was very scared by that time, I was very scared by that fame, she remembered, describing Yoko and John Lennon's lifestyles to the Daily Mail. So being in this very simple Christian community seemed very safe, like an easier life. Let's scroll down to some more names that we recognize. Bethany Joy Lenz, Kehlani, Miley Cyrus. A theory that Miley Cyrus was a member of an alleged cult in Modern Mystery School or originated on social media in August 2023, surfacing on Twitter after Cyrus was repeatedly pictured with alleged members of the group. The claim became popular among fans on TikTok. According to Dazed, Modern Mystery School describes itself as an organization that, quote, trains and certifies healing practitioners and teachers on the tradition of the lineage of King Solomon. In 2021, investigation by Vice claimed that members of the group spent upwards to $20,000 to reach the group's upper ranks. Former members described the group as a cult and a, quote, spiritual pyramid scheme, and alleged that they experienced, quote, financial and sexual exploitation in the group. Cyrus has never addressed her alleged involvement in the group. Michelle Pfeiffer. As a young actress in Hollywood, Michelle Pfeiffer was previously linked to breatharianism. A cult who believes the only source of nourishment should be sunlight. Yeah. She said in 2013, they were very controlling. I wasn't living with them, but I was there a lot, and they were always telling me I needed to come more. I had to pay for all the time I was there, so it was financially very draining. They believed that people in their highest state were breatharian. Pfeiffer revealed that then-husband Peter Horton, whom she was married from 1981 until 1988, saved her from the group by opening her eyes to the dangers of the group. Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder looks back fondly at her time in a California commune known as the Rainbow Commune, which she lived in with her parents for several years as a child. Quote, the place we lived was a 380 acres of redwoods. It was beautiful, she told Parade in 2019. While the group might sound cult-like to some people, Ryder has always defended it. Shirley MacLaine. While she's never spoken publicly about it, multiple sources linked actress Shirley MacLaine to NXIVM, claiming she attended workshops hosted by the group, per Vice. Kira Maguire, David Arquette. Scream actor David Arquette was born during the Arquette family's time living on the Sabud commune, but he has never spoken about it in depth. Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner fans briefly speculated that she and her teen friend group were getting involved in a cult-like group when she and her celebrity friends like Jaden and Willow Smith began posting photos of themselves with orgonite crystals back in 2014. According to Refinery 29, the controversial so-called healing crystals that the teens were photographed with have ties to a secret group called a secret society of individuals who create and place orgonite to balance Gaia's energies, end quote, or the Orgonite Society. However, there's no actual evidence that Jenner has been linked to the group. She likely was going to parties with members of the group and probably partook in little crystal activities. A lot of these big names cross paths, and they cross paths with all these different practitioners, and they practice this stuff because it's part of the zeitgeist of Hollywood. Jaden Smith, who was dating Kylie Jenner, but at the time that she was taking interest in orgonite crystals, was also seen shopping and even making his own crystals alongside his sister Willow. Willow Smith, like her brother, Willow Smith has been a subject of a fan theory that she was linked to the Orgonite Society. The theory was heightened then when she posted a video of herself reading a book by Osho, another name for the guru Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh Puram, whose controversial cult was explored in Netflix's Wild Wild Country. Megan Marks, Neil Young. So Neil Young was never in a cult, but he was definitely linked to the Manson family. He spent quite a bit of time with the leader, Charles Manson, and even wrote a song about him, per Far Out. Quote, "We just hung out," Young said of Manson, according to a 2013 biography. Quote, "I think I met him maybe 2-3 times. He was an angry man, but brilliant. Wrong, but stone brilliant. He sounds like Dylan when he talks," Young said. He added, Bob Dylan, which is what he probably means. Quote, "He seemed like a little uptight, a little too intense. Frustrated artist. Spent a lot of time in jail." End quote. Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix, along with his siblings River, Rain, Liberty, and Summer, were raised in the Children of God group, which was a group with extensive history of making members give up their money and contact with the outside world. The Phoenix family, of course, were a part of this group in Puerto Rico, where Joaquin and I think other siblings in the family were born. In 2014, interview with Playboy via to Entertainment Tonight, Joaquin Phoenix revealed his parents left soon after he was born, saying, quote, "I think my parents thought they'd found a community that shared their ideals. Cults rarely advertise themselves as such. It's usually someone saying, well, we're like-minded people. It's a community. But I think the moment my parents realized there was something more to it, they got out." Alright, so Rose McGowan, another member who grew up with the Children of God group, and Glenn Close, as a child, her family moved to a moral rearrangement, and she revealed to Hollywood Reporter that you basically weren't allowed to do anything. You were made to feel guilty about any unnatural desire. So, all these people, even George Harrison, Michelle Phan, all these celebrities in Hollywood do cult-like activities because it fits them in with the libertine, almost anarchist way of Hollywood. That's about the extent that you can get in Hollywood, and still some of these celebrities try and defend their upbringings because it's a very contagious culture once you gain some wealth. You want to fit in, you want to be a part of this system that parties, has fun, and does all these things that I guess tell you become more powerful this way. So that's appealing to people with a large following on social media and everywhere. That's about it. See ya.